back to another video, guys. Today, we're working on the S13 drift car. I'm fresh off having some fun in the Beta K70, but it's time to get stuck into getting this thing ready for our biggest trip pretty much ever in this car, which is over some water to Tasmania. I've only been there once when I was so young that I don't remember it, so it's going to be like a fresh experience for me, and I'm keen to meet all the guys over there. I'm going to be driving at Simmons Plains, which is a track I've always wanted to go to, and it's got a gnarly backy corner, so I'm keen to try that out. Now, whilst our car survived pretty well from South Australia, albeit with a few fresh scratches on the left-hand rear, there's definitely some major work that's getting done to this car. Today, for instance, we're pulling the motor on this car. I'll get to exactly why shortly. Stick with us, this thing's coming out today, along with the gearbox and a whole bunch of things in the engine bay. This is going to be the first time this motor's come out in quite a number of years. So who knows what else we'll find along the way that we need to fix. But firstly, we're going to do a compression test to find out exactly how healthy our piston ring seal is. We're also going to do a leak time test. Unfortunately, I forgot to bring that in today, so we'll be doing that a little bit later. Luckily, that can be done without the starter motor, but we will need everything hooked up for our compression test first, so we're going to get that underway, and then we're going to start pulling the gearbox out for the millionth time. Let's get into it. Alrighty, if you've seen one of these, you've probably had a bad time with your motor at some point in your life. But we're going to be compression testing this thing right now. Lincoln's popped over for a visit, and to learn all about SR20s, you got to learn all about them when you're going to get in a drift scene. And what motor are you going to work on more than probably one of these? Before we can plug this in, we're going to pull our coil packs and spark plugs out. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'll probably give you a quick rundown of this motor, but basically it is a forged S13 non-VCT SR20 DET. It's got a notch chop or an S14-15 rocker cover that's been cut and adapted, so it's got much better baffling. R35 GDR coils, the best damn sounding manifold in the world, third strike fab, with a G25 550 Pulsar turbo. Still running stock manifold, all the Raceworks goodies. Elijah made some tasty new intercooler pipes to go with our new intercooler. It's running 10-to-1 compression with forged pistons and forged rods. It's held up very, very well. We'll get into why it's coming out shortly, but let's compression test it first and see what we're starting with. Yeah. Boom. Alrighty. We'll be looking for some numbers higher up here. We don't want to see anything down here. So cylinder 1, 190. These from factory about 155, I think, from memory. We are a high compression motor, and cam timing does play a bit of a difference, but that is some extremely good numbers. Let's see if the other 4 are like that. The other 4? The other 3. Anyway.
190.
Boom. Alright, compression test, absolutely perfect, which I was expecting, / hopeful. So we got 190 on the first one, 180, 587 or something on the next one, 190 again, and now 200 on that last one. So she's well and truly consistent enough, and definitely some high numbers. So time to pull everything apart now. We'll do a leak down test on this thing as well once she's out, and I bring the gauge in hopefully tomorrow. But obviously I can't crank the motor out once the starter motor's off and the gearbox is off and all that jazz. So let's get to pulling this thing down. If you watched our last video, you would have seen that we run a Triton gearbox and we put another fresh one in it before the last round in South Australia. Had a few people messaging me after this asking for information about the conversion and potentially looking at doing it. I'm going to go through some positives and some downsides. We are looking at doing an upgrade for this car in the very near future. Not that the boxes are weak, they are very, very strong. In fact, the only time I managed to break one was being insanely stupid, basically dumping third gear off a standstill with a 265 R-spec at 8 PSI in the tyres, and that was the only time I managed to break third gear in them. Otherwise, they have been indestructible. But we do have some shifting issues in this car. The gearboxes are an AR5. They're very similar to a Colorado box, which a lot of people are using for conversions as well. They're near identical internally. A late manufacturing, Travis down there, he's the guy that did the adapter plate for us. He does top quality CNC stuff, and the adapter plate and kit in this is actually mint. However, in our chassis, the shifter position is about 150mm further back than where this gearbox wants to come out. We have not had very good luck with our remote shifter. There are actually much better well-designed shifters out there to move the shifter back now. However, at this point, with everyone we're going up against having dog boxes and sequentials and quick change diffs and all that, we are well and truly out of our element with the Triton gearbox. It's held their own a lot against some ridiculous cars, but I think if we're going to be competitive, it's time to look at an upgrade from now. If you guys are interested in the Triton gearbox conversion for your car, I do suggest if it's in something like a K70 with an SR, be perfect because the shifter position will come out near factory and you won't have any of the shifter issues we've had. And the other thing with this is it doesn't seem to like the 8,500 RPM when revving this thing too. It is a diesel box at the end of the day, and everyone running them behind 1UZs and that sort of thing has no issues with them, and generally about 7,000 RPM. Ours is a little bit outside that element, so great gearbox option and definitely cheaper than some things like an RB25 box. You can still pick these boxes up for about $400 from the wreckers, and they're quite common. So that was one of the main reasons we looked at doing the adapter kit to start with, but because I've never got it perfected, I would say, in my car, we never released it to the public. If there's enough interest for it, we can definitely look at something. This gearbox setup will be available for purchase very shortly, so feel free to DM me about that one if you want it. But like I said, I wouldn't be running it with this remote shifter in the car. Either sort out another remote shifter, or you can go back to the factory shifter, which works fine. Oh, and the one other thing I forgot to say was this adapter plate actually bolts it to an SR20 DE auto bell housing. So everything bolts up to your block like factory, and the plate is in between that and the gearbox. That's enough jibber jabbering about the gearbox. Let's get it out. Boom! S13 is now 1 Marcus power, so it's faster than it's ever been. She needs a massive cleanup, as you probably saw panning around. She is disgusting.
Disgusting!
And we have a lot of things that we have added into the bay as time has gone on, so I'm looking forward to having the chance to clean everything up properly and go through everything and make sure it is easier to service, more reliable at events. I can't remember what I was doing now. That's definitely enough for me today. We'll cut into probably tomorrow night where we're going to leak down test that motor and pull the entire rest of this engine bay apart in preparation for some paint. Because that's right, not only are we working on that SR20, which we'll go into more detail as to why later on, but we're going to give this whole entire bay a freshen up. Thanks to the legends at Mini's Paint and Panel, they're going to try and knock this out in one weekend for me. Absolute legends. See you tomorrow! Another day working on the SR20, and a few more tests to do today. We're going to do a leak down test on it now, which I've never done before, but I borrowed a kit and we're going to try it out. So we've gone ahead and skipped a few steps off camera, but the motor is torn down, all the manifolds off and on an engine stand, so it's nice and easy to work on. Very similar to a comp tester, this is going to screw in the same sort of way, but essentially you're going to put pressure into the motor this time and see what drops as to, I think it's mostly your valves. Obviously if you have completely stuffed piston rings, it's going to do the same thing, but you would have seen that at the compression test. So doing both of these things, we know we have a healthy top end, we shall say. We need to find basically top dead center with the valves closed. So the simple way to do that is to put the screwdriver in there and rotate the crank. Because we've taken our valve cover off, it is nice and easier for us to see where the lobes are. So you can see that's going down, coming back up. Both cams are on the back of the lobes so that there is no pressure on the spring. So we know it's basically in the right position, and we can line that up with our TDC marking right there. So we should be beautiful, because you can be one rotation out and the piston will be down the bottom. Now, let's stick some air in it and hope it holds it. Alright, so you should plug this into air first. What we're gonna do, oh, it's already, is it already pretty much set there? Set that. Gonna wind the adjustment knob till that comes up to 0. Like so. Whoop. Alrighty. We'll see what happens. And if you're worried that you're not at TDC, you can plug this in and then feed it up. But we're 100% sure that that piston is TDC, and I'm not worried about it trying to spin the motor. So, let's see what she does. That's pretty fucking good. We are like right on the high side of the green, so that is a very healthy motor. Well, that's a very healthy one cylinder. And now we just repeat the process for the other 3 and hope it's just as good. That's the ticket. Number 2. Fuck yeah. Still Mickey Mouse. Ooh. Damn. That is bloody good. It's like brand new. Fuck yeah. Mint. Apparently I know how to build a motor. Maybe. Look, put this nice new rocker cover on and I think you can agree it looks fucking schmick, doesn't it? No, just jokes. So, we've actually sent our rocker cover off to get painted because why not? I thought, I love the purple that was in it, and thank you Danny Pezek, my mate, for painting that, but I want something to be a little bit brighter and pop in our bay because, as you can probably see, there's an Aristo where my S13 normally lives. The S13 is off for getting the engine bay painted because the motor doesn't come out very often because SRs are just so damn reliable. And here we are pulling it apart. But anyway, so while that's all happening, Minis are painting the bay and the rocker cover, and I'm keen to see that and show you the colours we've gone with. We've now confirmed that everything at the top end of the motor and our piston rings are schmick. So let's see what's going on down there. So you might be wondering, Marcus, why did you pull apart a perfectly healthy motor? Well, 2 rounds ago I had a pretty bad sump leak and I went ahead and resealed it, and whilst I was there we checked the crank end float, or the crank wall, which is basically the forward aft movement of the crank, or where the harmonic balancer moves in and out, and we were at the top end of the factory specs already. So whilst it's still okay at the moment, as we were pulling the motor out to paint the bay, it was the perfect time to get the bearings done at the bottom end. It's better to do this as preventative maintenance, especially on an SR20. 1, they're not cheap anymore. 2, I put a lot of money in the forged internals on it. So having anything let go is not really an option for me. We're gonna go ahead and do main bearings and rod bearings while we're there, but realistically all it actually needs is the thrust washers, or at least that's what I think. We'll pull all these off now and find out just what condition they're in after about 3 years of solid abuse.
Absolutely, that's what makes drifting so unique and so different. We're all just as stupid as each other, so let's work together and against each other, right? That's done before.
Yeah. Nailed it. Coming out of it. Sick. That's a satisfying crack. Yeah. Painful knuckle pop, baby. Alright. 4, ha ha. 5, ha ha ha. Oh, boom. Oh. Now we get to see how one of these rod bearings looks. Come on. Fuck you, buddy. Here, and then hopefully. She's like brand new. That's beautiful. Mint. Still looks pretty schmick. Still looks bloody beautiful. There, bloody good. I made it work with my finger. She's almost 100% apart. If you want to know how to actually build a motor, I'd say go back and watch one of my previous videos from a couple of years ago, where we go through everything and we walk you through pretty much every step. We're not doing any measuring or anything like that because we know we've got standard size bearings in it and we're putting exactly what has come out of it. We've got no bearing wear that we're worried about, other than our thrust washers. So we're going to slap the new thrust washers in. We honestly could have put those bearings back in and we've had no problem. But I'm pretty sure it was 200 bucks for both mains and rod bearings, so there's no reason not to spend that money and to have that extra insurance. So we'll replace all of them while we're here, and we know it's good to go for another many years. Alright. So these are the whole reason we pulled this motor apart. These are your thrust washers. You've got 2 on that center main bearing. So we're gonna go change these out and change all our bearings, slap this back together. I'm just trying to get the bottom end back pieced together today so I don't lose anything. And obviously everything's out on the floor, so I'd rather everything doesn't get filthy dirty and crap in it. So we'll get this back together and loosely assembled, and I will finish cleaning up and getting the rest of the package back together tomorrow, because I'm ready to go home. Alrighty, cranks out, bearings are out, time to put the new ones back in. So we've got ACL main and rod bearings, and I'm using brand new OEM Nissan thrust washers. Don't ask me why. Last time I built the motor, I was recommended to use OEM ones rather than the ACL, and because that's exactly what's coming out, that's exactly what's going back in. We're just going to wipe the surfaces as everything goes together and put some assembly lube on it. There's a fair bit of oil within the motor, but we want to make sure that bearing is lubricated on first start. And yeah, so when I install them, I usually always push it a little lower with the one with the tag and put my finger above it, and that way you can just slide it and rotate it, it should be flat. It's another day at the factory. Easter long weekend, as a matter of fact, and what else will we be doing then? Working on our S13. I don't think I filmed much from when we just got the bearings in the bottom of the motor, but as you can see, I finished cleaning and resealing everything. So we've got all our lower pan and sump on. We've also done new genuine front seal, and we've got a new rear main seal to go on as well. So the motor is pretty much done and ready to go. But more excitingly from that, we have picked up our car from Mini's Paint and Panel down in Werribee, and the absolute legends there have gone above and beyond. One, they fixed my debauchery on the left-hand rear end, probably for the 1 millionth time, and she's somehow still looking like a car. But even more exciting than that, we have a freshly painted engine bay. So I'm not sure how well it'll pick up in the camera there, given we're in the workshop and it's quite dark here at the moment, but we've gone for a pretty much gunmetal grey with a purple flake. If you know me, purple is my favourite colour, and we've got to throw that on the car somewhere. And not only have we thrown some purple flake in the bay, we have gone one step further and really spiced up our rocker cover. It was purple already before, but I think you'll agree the purple we've gone for this time really pops. So we've gone for a pearl purple on the rocker cover, which pops super bright, especially in the light. I did like the other purple, but it was just a little too dark in the engine bay. Unless the sun hit it really directly, it never really had that purple tone come out in it. It was always quite dark. I think you can get the idea that that is gonna stand out something fierce in this engine bay. I'm so keen. Alex is coming down to give us a hand. He's camera shy, he's gonna run away. Cooper's giving us a hand. Ain't you? Ain't you? Not case. But today, the goal is to get a few things back in the engine bay. I want to get the brake system hooked back up and bled. So firstly, I've got to clean up some of this corrosion and paint the brake booster, get that back on there. Then we can get our master cylinder back in, hook up all our brake lines and bleed them. That's the main thing I need to do before I get the engine drop back in. On top of that, I'll show you in a little bit, but I actually stitch welded underneath all in the tubs here, just the back section of it there. I figured if we're going to get the engine bay painted, I'd want to try and do that beforehand because we don't want to burn all that paint. I didn't film that because I was running out of time before getting the car to Minis, but we'll show you that under there. It's been seam sealed and we've got to throw some stone gun on it now, along with a couple other little things to get this thing ready to head to Elijah at Lazaro Motorsports for some, I know I keep saying it, but we've just more exciting stuff. It's just left, right and center it's coming at us at the moment. So big news. This is honestly small news compared to what's about to happen. Not sure if that's going to be in this video, but get excited because I can't wait to show you. Anyway, let's get stuck into some work. Alright, done sanding. Alex has been polishing up this manifold. It's actually coming up way better than I thought it would. All the unnecessary little things, but you know, if we've painted the bay, we might as well go all out and try and make it as good as we can without necessarily putting a million hours into the thing. So got all the rust and crap cleaned off our brake booster, just using a can of our Dulux epoxy enamel gloss black, the same stuff we painted our K70 with. So we'll give this a lick of paint. This should be pretty durable and stick to the bare metal, and then once that dries we can start putting the brake system back together. thin coat, I reckon. So while the paint's drying on the booster, I thought I'd go ahead and get the undercoat done where I spot welded and mini seam sealed. So I've whipped the coilovers out and I've taped everything in the engine bay, all the holes on the other side. And yes, there's a lot of them. We're not a shaved bay, so I've taped up every single hole I can find. So hopefully we won't get anything spraying through onto our nice new engine bay paint. Anyway, let's get stuck into this. So this is all seam sealed. This is where I spot welded. So we've just done all the, just the rear half of the tubs. I'm not really worried about the front. All the main structure up to the towers is what I'm worried about. And we've obviously got our cage brace to the tower as well. So she's pretty strong, but it did start to show cracks to all the original seam sealer. So it's definitely getting some flex. So we've gone ahead, stitch welded it, seam sealed it. We've got half a can of this Auto Flex underbody coating left over from the ute. So I'm really only going to just do the back over the seam sealer because I don't have enough to do everything. As much as we're trying to take pride in it and make it one of the cleaner drift cars out there, it is still not a show car. This stuff covers it really, really well. So I'm hoping half a can is going to be plenty to do this side and that side. All right, let's do the other side while we still know we've got enough, and then we can touch up some further areas if we've still got stuff left. All right, that is all done. As you can see, covers pretty good, given we only had half a can. I focused on all the joins and just gave it a little spray over everything in between. It's gonna get rocks, tire and crap thrown up at it anyway, but it's good protection, and we made sure we've got everywhere sealed up nicely with seam sealer and this on top now. So we shouldn't have any chance of any water or other stuff getting in between the joins and creating rust. So that is the main thing, and obviously it does look much, much nicer. Wish I kind of had enough to do all of it, but at the end of the day, it is a drift car. We gotta know when to chill on it. Now let's go see if that brake boost is dried, get that in here so we can start getting our brake system together. We've also got a lot of masking tape to pull off, including on all those brake lines, wiring looms, and everything else you're seeing there. There guys, not long now and this bad boy should be sitting in that nice pretty new engine bay. I've gone ahead and put the brake booster and master cylinder back in, as well as the clutch master, so I'm going to get that bled up shortly. But right now I'm putting all the oil lines and water lines on the motor, and we're also changing engine mounts. So at the moment what I've been running is the Nismo engine mounts, and if you're looking for a hot tip for your SR, buy the CA18 ones. If you look into the Nismo ones, you'll find it's a pretty common problem where they raise the motor up, and it tends to cause things like, especially with the GK Tech fan, hitting shrouds and stuff like that, and it can even be as much as to change cooler piping. The CA ones sit bang on, and also, for some unknown reason, because SR tax, they're half the price. So, for a street car and moderate drift car, these are absolutely no problem at all, and honestly they were doing the job, but given the amount of loads and abuse we're putting through this, I wanted to go to something stronger. I did actually used to have these in the car, but with the cams, it actually used to shake my dashboard when I was idling and it annoyed the hell out of me. We've got a few more bolts and mounts in the car now, and I'm gonna add a few more as well, so I shouldn't have that problem. And we're going back to the RB factory mounts. They're a lot stronger, they're gonna be a bit harsher on the road, but there is some dampening at least. It's much better than a solid mount. And it means that every bit of torque you're putting down from your right foot is going straight to those rear wheels. It's not getting lost in the motor rocking around. And also we have pretty tight intercooler pipe set up and stuff like that now, so the less movement, the better. What's up guys? Today is a very exciting day. We're about to shove this SR back in our beautifully painted engine bay. I'm sorry you can't hear me because it's bloody raining right now, but I'm pumped. I hope you guys can tell just how damn good this color turned out. Mini stain panel, thank you guys so much. Don't worry, we're not throwing this faded old factory red in there. We've gone ahead and painted the brake master and booster, that's all back together. We've bled the brakes thanks to Lincoln as well, so that's all ready to go. And it's finally time to throw this thing in. The intercooler did not go in quite as easy as it came out. It looks like after straightening the rad support, not everything quite lined up as easy as it did, but we massaged it all in there nicely. Might have had to touch up a little bit, but you'll never know, because look at that, she's just beautiful again. Time to put the motor in, and I was supposed to bring towels from home and forgot, so Hoodie's doing the job to hopefully protect nice new paint from my exhaust, which is about to go in. And fingers crossed, everything lines up beautifully that way. We've got our different engine mounts on there now, and they're flipped to kind of drop the motor a little bit, so I'm hoping that's gonna work. And I've also got the cross member still loosened from last time, so it sits a bit lower. So hopefully everything just slots straight in, no problems at all, and we don't damage anything. She's in. She's in. 2 big booms. We didn't damage anything, luckily. We used our nice jumper method there, and we've got our motor sitting what I think is the correct lean for an SR20. We've basically gone off the lower pan. They have to sit level, but the motor has a tilt. So we've done what we can to make sure that's bang on, because we've got to fab up a new gearbox cross member, and I'll let you do with that what you will. Probably won't get to that one in this video, but we're making some progress. And the next step is just to make sure that intercooler piping still mounts up as it was before. If it doesn't, then we know we really need to shift the motor around. Because I've done the different motor mounts, it may be sitting very slightly different. We want to make sure it's still going to be perfect. After that, I can't wait to show you what this rocker cover looks like. That's bloody tight. Too tight? We don't know. I feel like the motor does lean back a little bit more naturally. Come on, you're busted. Yeah, it's on there. Good 5mm. So I forgot that I didn't have an intake manifold. So we're just going to assume that pipe. Oh, just picture it right there. Beautiful. Lines up mint. Apparently looking through the camera it looks blue, because this is hella purple. But it is a full pearl metallic, and goddamn it looks good. Let's put this on it. Damn.
Goddamn.
Fuck yeah. This rocker cover. So I think you can agree, this looks freaking amazing. I am pumped. And I'm also really, really scared I'm going to mark it. So we're going to take that straight back off there and put it back in the car while we're working and doing everything else. And that about wraps up this video. So we've got our rebuilt SR20, our full painted bay and new rocker cover. And that is not the most exciting thing happening to this car. As I've teased before, there's something going on with that gearbox, and you're just going to have to wait till the next video to find out. Let us know what you think of the new colours in the comments, and we'll see you in the next video.